Dianna Russini sitting patiently and waiting. I love football so much. You have no idea. That's as much fun in my life as I could have. Just talking to you and doing over-unders. I love all this stuff. And so do you.
I'm so glad you like that. First of all, you describe me as patient. You've known me long enough to know that is not what I am. It is a major flaw of mine that I need to work on. But I get it. I think it's just the time of year. We all like to be optimistic. I love watching training camp clips right now, seeing everyone working hard. The pads are on. It feels real. We still have a long ways to go, though. And I
Yeah.
think I know I've been reminding myself of that as I've been kind of falling down these little wormholes of stories. And I'm like, it's August 1st. I got to chill out here. But at the same time, there is tons of really good stuff going on, a lot of stories to get into.
So, Mike, this has been one of my themes over the last 3 weeks. Players like Justin Fields. Even when he was losing in Chicago, he was loved in the locker room. Russell Wilson, not so much. Now, Tomlin says yesterday, Justin Fields has taken advantage. Okay, I know. I'm not trying to just start something here. I do think he's going to challenge for the job at some point. What do you hear?
Absolutely. I think you go back to how this all started, which was the pole position, right? That doesn't mean no competition. He Mike Tomlin never took that off the table. He's a veteran. He's smart enough to know that. You never say there's no quarterback competition when you have players in the positions that these two guys are in. So from day one, this was going to be who was going to get the edge. Russell just had it walking into camp because he's a veteran. And he has that experience and that time in the league overall. But he gets hurt. He's got this calf issue from pushing sleds during conditioning drills, which I still don't understand why they had their quarterbacks doing that. Um, so from what I'm hearing over the last few days is similar to what Mike is revealing through the media, which is look, he's taking advantage of his opportunities. But what does that mean, right? It's sharp. Making his throws on time. It's understanding what Arthur Smith is asking from him. It's learning the offense, putting the work, and he's doing all the things that's asked of him. And you point to the fact that Chicago struggled with letting go of Justin Fields. I'm not just talking about the fans. I'm talking the building. It was almost emotionally challenging for them and difficult for them to make that decision when they knew it was the right one. Or at least that's what most of the people there, the decision makers, knew was going to be the right decision for them, knowing that they could get Caleb Williams, who will now take over. But to see Justin getting this opportunity, taking advantage of it, seizing it. I have a podcast called Scoop City with Chase Daniel. He spends every show talking about how he thinks Justin Fields is going to win the job. He's like, he's got to win the job. He's going to be able, he's that good because he now has the right support. Sometimes just a change of environment can do wonders. And we thought that would be the case with Russell in Denver. We did, right? But we know that just that match with Sean Payton is specifically, that was never going to work. But Colin, my question is, and I had a conversation with the GM this morning about it. If Justin Fields wins the job, what type of backup quarterback is Russell Wilson going to be?
Yeah.
That's a really, really complicated dynamic, I think.
Yeah. So there's a bite. I just didn't like this at all. And for years and years, Green Bay fans said, you media people are creating something out of nothing. Aaron would take passive aggressive shots at the Green Bay Packers. And eventually they just said, when he came out of that darkness retreat, they just bailed on him. They're like, enough is enough. He said, I'm surprised. So he and Robert Saleh. So Saleh, when the Egypt trip came out, Saleh's like, it's inexcused. And my take was, you don't need to say that. Just he's gone. We agreed to it. Just don't use inexcused. Don't use that word. Aaron keeps score. I didn't love that. I'm sorry. I think you could have stopped after, I'll do what the coach says. What do you make? Am I making, once again, like Green Bay, am I making too much of all these snippy comments at the podium by the coach and the quarterback?
Yeah, it's like he's driving down the road, and then at the last second, he just makes a quick little right, and you're like, you almost just finished it without any drama. But of course, drama, and drama is maybe being dramatic by describing it that way, because I don't sense that there are issues in the building in terms of that relationship. I think Aaron Rodgers knows what Robert Saleh is. I think Robert Saleh knows what Aaron Rodgers is, and he needs Aaron Rodgers to play the absolute best he possibly can this year in order to help Robert Saleh keep his job. And after that whole Egypt situation, where I was told that Robert Saleh told Aaron Rodgers that the reason why he said it was unexcused is he wanted to let the world know that he runs the team and Aaron Rodgers doesn't. Well, you just had him run the team for the last year. You can't all of a sudden just take it back. And I was told that they had a good conversation. They fixed it. Everything was good. And look, out on the field, the offense had a little bit of a rough 1 or 2 days, but they've been sharp. A couple bad snaps from under center, a couple little sloppy things. We've seen some of the heated arguments, we'll call them, these animated conversations he's having with his weapons. All of this is good. The building loves this because this is where Aaron Rodgers is his best. When he's a leader, when he's a teacher, he knows how to win. So you have the ears of this team listening to him because they know when it comes to the football of what they're doing, that's where they want to lean into him. And while Robert Saleh apparently doesn't seem to be communicating with his quarterback what the situation is, they probably need to work that out soon because we're going to be spending the entire year translating what's going on between both of them.
So Belichick going to take the year off, and I think that's actually sometimes getting off the treadmill for anybody in any career is a good thing. It's hard to, improve when you're in the grind, right? And so Belichick's now doing some media stuff. With all your sources, how is that viewed around the league that he only got one interview and it wasn't apparently that serious? How is this new venture being viewed?
Well, first of all, Colin, have you ever talked to a coach after after he was fired? I don't care if you're a Hall of Fame coach or you had just a 1 year stint. They're physically and mentally spent. They're a shell of themselves. I know so many coaches who, after about like 2 weeks after they get fired, get horrendously sick, like in bed, can't move. It's almost like the weight of everything just hits them like a ton of bricks. And it's kind of common that this is what happens after the season, even for coaches that win. It's just when the season ends, it just knocks you over, but especially for those who've been fired. And Bill taking a year off, who knows what it can do for him in terms of his own personal growth at his age. And if he seems to be open to it. Now the guy that hates the media is getting in front of it. Around the league, though, the conversations, because there's definitely everyone a little chit chatty about, look at Belichick here playing the media darling role, going through a public relation makeover, a facelift, so to speak, to connect with those owners, to show, look, I connect with those young people. I can be cool. I'm not just the old ball coach. I'm able to adapt, right? And it's interesting to watch because then we haven't seen much of Pete Carroll anywhere. We know he still wants to coach. We don't know where he'll wind up. And then all over social media, we're seeing Mike Vrabel with the Cleveland Browns, where he's a consultant right now, out on the field doing just old school hands-on coaching, working with David Njoku with the tight ends. He's sprinting across the field with Jameis Winston, doing what he probably needs to do for his own mental health, which is coach football. So I just find it really interesting, Colin, to watch the different, let's just call them PR moves here from both these coaches who I think will both have jobs next year, approach, sort of show the owners, pick me, choose me. And we'll see who's going to be the one standing at the end here in which style work. The guy that's getting out in front of the cameras, staying in your face, or the guy that's showing that he is collaborative, that he is into analytics, that he can be open to learning other things, and he's not a stubborn New England way of doing things. So that's really been a lot of the good conversations I've been having with people as coaches are watching this. And I can tell you some coaches that have the job that are worried if they get fired, those two are going to be the first ones up for the interviews. Okay.
Scoop City with Chase Daniel is her new podcast. In a world where everybody's got one, this one stands out. It's smart, it's sharp, it's funny. Dianna, as always, have fun in these camps. Great seeing you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.